after trying to get questions answered about the university's decision making, the University of Virginia held a virtual town hall today with President Jim Ryan and university leadership about Saturday's pro-Palestine protests that turned violent. Kagan Hughes is live in the newsroom with that story. Hi, Kagan.
Casey, President Jim Ryan started off the town hall by saying Saturday was a terrible, upsetting, and a traumatic day for everyone involved. He says university leadership hoped to end the protests by using university police, but were met with physical confrontation and an attempted assault and had to act for the greater good.
That's when the decision was made to call on the state police. That was a very hard decision, but we felt like we didn't have a safer option at that point, given the circumstances of an ever-growing crowd and defiant protesters who are continually calling for others to join them.
University of Virginia President Jim Ryan and his leadership team sat down together for a digital town hall to offer insight and explanation for what eventually happened on grounds. The pro-Palestine protest started on Tuesday night. It came to a crashing end Saturday afternoon.
Individuals in the demonstration were given multiple opportunities on Saturday to comply with university and police directives, first to take down the tents and then to clear and leave the area, and they refused to do so.
University Police Chief Longo and Ryan did not specify who made the final call for Virginia State Police to clear the encampment wearing tactical gear. Instead, it's being described as a team decision.
We made the decision to end the protest and clear the area. We felt like this was escalating and had the potential to get out of hand.
Leadership also answered a question about the confusing tent policy and the change to one of the policy documents Saturday morning.
One is a policy that prohibits tents on a list of prohibited items whenever there's an incident or occurrence, which includes demonstrations and protests. Someone on our team, and I'm not sure this was the right judgment, at 9:30 or so on Saturday, decided to remove that so that those rules were consistent with policy. But it's immaterial to whether tents were allowed because the first policy clearly applies.
But despite the demands for the tents to come down, leadership says that was not the main cause for the police to take action.
But I also want to say this was not just about some technical violation of a tent policy or no encampment policy. This became a safety and security issue, especially when the 4 men came in on Friday night.
UVA says some of those 4 men dressed in black and wearing helmets were recognized.
At least 2 of these were known to law enforcement personnel as participating in violent acts elsewhere in the Commonwealth.
27 people were arrested on Saturday. That's an updated number from the initial 25.
12 of them were students. 8 were unaffiliated, not related, or part of UVA, either students, faculty, or staff. I think a particular note of one of the 8 unaffiliated was also charged with assault. There were 4 employees and then 3 former either employees or students.
For those 12 students, Chief Longo has modified the no trespassing orders for students to complete their exams, stay in their dorms, and if 4th years, graduate later this month. Those who are unaffiliated with the university will be banned on grounds for 4 years.
Allowing students to complete their exams, remain in their dormitory spaces until such time as their academic obligations are over. With respect to those 4th years, again, allow them to take their exams, participate in final exercises, stay in their dormitory placement.
When the panel was asked about the police reactions in comparison to the Unite the Right rally, it said after a review was conducted in 2017, policy was changed, and President Ryan says there was not a quick enough reaction.
Time, place, and manner restrictions that didn't exist, especially around the lawn and the academical village, were put into place. I think there was a sense that there were some gaps there in rules to protect speech and protect the safety of the community.
UVA hopes students continue to use their freedom of speech.
Sunday, there were 2 events on grounds, one on the lawn and one immediately adjacent to the memorial to enslaved laborers, pro-Palestinian protests as part of an event that was called Flood the Lawn. And those were civil, peaceful demonstrations of protest in support of Palestine.
President Ryan says he knows that trust has been broken due to the actions from Saturday.
Those decisions, like the ones we had to make on Saturday, are no-win situations because some will always question them, but they have to be made. And I have always tried to make them based on principle and based on what I perceive to be the best interests of the community. Once you make a decision, you have to own it, and you face the personal and professional consequences, which I appreciate and fully accept.
Final exercises for students are approaching. President Jim Ryan says they will be moving forward as planned. He says the university is doing everything in its powers to make sure all graduation activities happen safely. Live in the newsroom, Kagan Hughes, 29 News at 5.